CBSE Board, History, Chapter 8, Part 2, Audio by Rennie Matthew. The first chapter in this book comprised a lot of facts and historical events from the French Revolution. Now, why am I talking about the French Revolution in clothing? It is because so much of revolution took place during the French Revolution itself. As you can see on the slide, it transformed many aspects of social and political life. The revolution also swept away existing dress codes. Swept away means what? It just took away all what was there at that time and introduced new style of clothing. The old was just washed away, taken away, giving birth to new forms. So, when you do that, a new set of law came into existence, which was known as the sumptuary laws. Let us look briefly at what these laws were. And you can see the short definition which is given for sumptuary laws. That is, it is a law which is relating to or denoting laws that are limited, like it limits private expenditure on food and personal items. It is like a kind of restriction which is imposed on food, on clothing, on personal items. So when there were a lot of restrictions which was brought about, eventually and gradually there was a lot of transformation which took place in clothing. Earlier also I told you in the previous audio that it is because of a lot of restrictions that the clothing materials were restricted. The type of cloth that was available were restricted. So similarly here, during the French Revolution, so much of change took place in both social and political life. And it swept away the existing dress code also, which is known as the sumptuary laws. So because of these laws, there were a lot of changes in the clothing aspect also. What are these? Let us have a look at that. Sumptuary laws and social hierarchy. It is a very important part of this particular text, and I feel it is an eminent part which will help you to score also, because it is really easy if you understand. So part 1 is sumptuary laws and social hierarchy. All right? In medieval Europe, dress codes were sometimes imposed upon members of different layers of society through actual laws which were spelled out in some detail. So as I told you earlier itself, dress codes were imposed, and it was imposed on different layers of society. It was not like now. You had the rich people, the middle class people, the people who only worked. Even now we have got these strata in the society, or we have got these divisions, but it's not very prominent. In Europe, it was not like that. We had layers of society. And based on this layer only you could dress. And that is why there was a lot of restrictions. So according to your region, according to the layer of society that you belong to, there were a lot of restrictions. From 1294 to the time of the French Revolution, that is in 1789, the people of France were expected to strictly follow what were known as sumptuary laws, especially the French people. Take a note of the period 1294 to 1789. All right? What were these laws? The laws tried to control the behavior of those considered social inferiors. So, a few people who belonged to the lower strata or the lower part of the society were not allowed to wear a type of clothing which was worn by the higher classes. I told you about the regional codes in the previous audio. Similarly, there were restrictions on what you purchase, the food, the beverages, especially alcohol, clothes, everything. Even hunting game, that is also given in this slide. You can hunt only in certain areas. So much of restrictions on personal things. So that is the meaning of the term sumptuary law. Restrictions which is imposed on personal items like food, clothing, and even the sport that you play. In medieval France, the items of clothing a person could purchase per year was regulated not only by income but also by social rank. So, social rank was something which stopped people or restricted people from buying what they liked. It imposed a lot of limitations. So, when you're restricted for a long time, when you're limited to buy certain things for a long time, it causes frustration. Why? Because you're not comfortable. So these kind of laws also played with the comfort zone of the people. For some time, they were like tolerant. They obeyed also very strictly. They were forced to obey, like whatever the people who were rich wore. What is that class called? Aristocracy class. That class, whatever the noblemen wore, the poor people were not supposed to wear. So those kind of restrictions, which was not completely fair, those were known as the sumptuary laws. The French Revolution ended these distinctions. So French Revolution, the term itself tells you that there were a lot of reformation, revolution, things changed, transformation took place, right? So what happened? What did the French Revolution do? It just ended this distinction. What do you mean by distinction? The kind of the changes, the way you differentiate people from one class to another. Higher class should wear that, lower class shouldn't wear that. Lower class should wear something that shouldn't be worn by the higher class. So you were distinguishing people based on the social rank. So that was stopped. That was ended by the French Revolution. Members of the Jacobin clubs even called themselves the sans-culottes to distinguish themselves from the aristocracy who wore the fashionable knee breeches. Can you see two pictures on this slide? Yes, there are two pictures. So, you have a higher class and a lower class depicted there. Left hand side, you have the normal peasants or the workers. They wore a special kind of pant, trousers that you use now, like something different with stripes. So, those kind of dressing or those kind of attires were known as sans-culottes. All right. On the right hand side, you can see a gentleman from the noble or from the aristocracy. Aristocracy means people who belong to the higher order or the higher order of the society. He is wearing a different kind of trouser with high knee stockings. The shoes that he's wearing is different. The coat that he's wearing is different. It's a tail coat. Yes. So he was not expected to dress like the poor person who is wearing the sans-culotte. Yes, aristocracy wore the knee breeches. So the name itself was different and it was restricted to that particular social class. So when a person came out, you know by the clothing to which social rank this person belonged. Just by looking at the person, you can tell to which social rank the person belonged. That was the main thing. It was the identity of the person. It was not for good all the time. Okay? So sans-culotte literally meant those without knee breeches. Very important point. It meant without knee breeches. It is as if knee breeches is something of high level and it is like very particular to only the high class people and you cannot wear it. The lower class people couldn't wear it. It was so particular to the high class people and you were supposed to be proud in wearing the knee breeches. That is why it was known as without knee breeches for the lower classes. And what was the term? Sans-culotte. So there are 3 points given there on the dressing style which emerged after the French Revolution. From now on, both men and women began wearing clothing that was loose and comfortable. So that was the first change brought about by the French Revolution, to wear clothing which was loose and comfortable. The colors of France, blue, white, and red, became popular as they were a sign of the patriotic citizen. So, can you see two pictures beneath? You can see something like a ribbon, like you make. I know children will make these kind of things to put it on, to pin it onto their dress. But these were ribbons that was worn on the caps. You can see on left hand side a person is wearing it on the cap that is being worn. Yes. So we'll come to that. The colors of France were blue, white, and red. To show patriotism, people were expected to use these colors in the clothes. And what was the first change? To wear loose and comfortable dress. Third point is other political symbols too became a part of dress. The red cap of liberty, long trousers, and the revolutionary cockade pinned onto a hat. So this particular picture, it is known as cockade, not ribbon. All right. So that is how they made it with these colors. The colors were red. You were supposed to use red, and that was supposed to be pinned onto a hat. The simplicity of clothing was meant to express the idea of equality. So anybody could dress like this. That was the main idea. So the 3 points are very important. Those were the changes which were brought about after the French Revolution in dressing. I hope it is very clear to you. All right? Okay. Now it is about the aristocratic couple. You can see a picture in your textbook itself. A man and a woman is dressed up on the eve of the French Revolution. I have added different pictures also for you to understand apart from the textbook. How did the people, especially people belonging to the higher class, the aristocratic group, dress up after the French Revolution? Yeah. So you can look at the clothes that these women are wearing. It is so sumptuous. Sumptuous means what? Lot of detailing is there. It is so big. Look at the elaborate headgear, something that they're wearing. It is not a cap. It is a headgear. Yes, it is so designed. It is elaborate. So much of detail is there. Without that, they will not accept you into the society. So changes were brought about only in these aspects. That is the color, the cockade, and wearing loose and comfortable clothes. Not in the ranking. All right? Then, lace edgings on the dress the lady is wearing. So that is for you to refer from your book. The lady is wearing lace. Even in this picture, towards the end of the frock or the gown that they're wearing, so much of lace edging is there, and it is very costly even today. Then you have a corset inside the dress. This was meant to confine and shape her waist so that she appeared narrow-waisted. So when you look at all the women, they have got beautiful waist, right? So thin. It is not like that. They're wearing something inside so that they looked thin-waisted. It is like you're giving pressure to the body to stay so thin. I will explain to you what is a corset. So just look at these pictures. Everybody has got a thin waist when it comes to the middle. So it is as if everybody has got an excellent shape. It is not like that. They are giving pressure to the body through the dress to remain intact. Let's see what is a corset. So I hope you understood what is a headgear, something that you wear on the head, the lace edging, the lace that you have attached to the dresses. Then it is so elaborate. The nobleman, as was the custom of the time, is wearing a long soldier's coat. Knee breeches, I told you knee breeches were worn by only aristocratic families. Silk stockings, you can't wear any stocking but silk, which was really costly. And high-heeled shoes. This is a simple picture, but you were expected to wear high-heeled shoes. Both man and women had elaborate wigs. So apart from the hair that you had on your head, you were supposed to wear wig. Even if you had long hair, you have to put it into great hairstyles. Apart from that, you have to wear wig also, which was really costly. And both have their faces painted a delicate shade of pink to show that your complexion is rose. Yes, even in the olden films, you can see that the actors and actresses, they will have a pink shade on their face, both men and women. It should be like red, bubbling. The face should be bubbling. It should be shy. You should have that expression of shyness and what to say, that pink, nice pink color on the face, which will give you a display of natural skin. Okay, so when you have a natural skin on the face without any pink color on the face, it is considered uncultured. Can you imagine that? When you look natural without the pink powder on your face, it was considered unnatural. Yes, so we have to go in detail to the corset regarding the women. So that was for the men and women on how they dressed after the French Revolution. All right? Okay.